We are so back. Let's get into it. Welcome to my channel, Outspoken Samantha. I appreciate you being here. Do me a couple favors, hit the thumbs up button and become a subscriber if you're not already, and turn on your notifications so that you never miss out on a conversation like the one we're about to have. We did it. We made it. We survived the last 4 years. And can you guys really believe what we have had to deal with since 2021? Does it feel like we are waking up from a nightmare? Because that's exactly what it feels like to me, except in real nightmares, you wake up and realize everything is fine. But in this case, you wake up and realize that everything that happened in your nightmare was actually real. And now there is a giant mess to clean up. And per Trump's first 30 seconds in office, he's got the cleaning crew out, he's got the bulldozers in, and the builders are coming in to put everything back together. Of course, it's going to be quite the project, and Trump has already demonstrated that he knows he does not have 1 second to waste. As with Biden, within the first 5 minutes of his presidency, wasted no time in tearing down barriers and borders and preparing the U.S. to be exposed and vulnerable to threats, both foreign and domestic. Trump knew, and he knows, that he has to get right to work to start protecting our country again. And it started by reminding Americans exactly what it is that we are leaving behind. And for once, I actually agree with Kamala. We are not going back. So let's just go over a few of the highlights of the things that Trump has said and done after not even being in office for 24 hours. First, his speech. It was very succinct, short, sweet, and to the point. But what I loved about it is by laying out exactly everything that he and his team plan to do, he exposed exactly how destructive and corrupt this last administration has been, as if we didn't already know. But without pointing fingers directly at the people standing behind him, he let every single one of us know how poor of a job they have all done since the moment they stepped into office. And as I've heard other commentators talk about the speech that Trump gave, there were some who thought that they would have expected this kind of thing once he got to the arena, where he could really lay into these people in front of the 20,000 plus crowd that was waiting for him. But by saying the things that he said with Biden, Kamala, and every single one of these slimy worms who have failed our country over and over and over again, standing behind him, he made them listen to their failings. They could not escape, couldn't leave because someone was saying something they didn't want to hear, as again, they've done over and over and over again. They had to listen and they had to squirm. And it was the ultimate humiliation for them.
Vice President Vance, Speaker Johnson, Senator Thune, Chief Justice Roberts, Justices of the United States Supreme Court, President Clinton, President Bush, President Obama, President Biden, Vice President Harris, and my fellow citizens. The golden age of America begins right now. From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world. We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer. During every single day of the Trump administration, I will very simply put America first. Our sovereignty will be reclaimed. Our safety will be restored. The scales of justice will be rebalanced. The vicious, violent, and unfair weaponization of the Justice Department and our government will end.
Again, I can't help but think about the people that are right behind him. He is talking directly to everyone in the Biden administration, as in, we will be respected again because the world has been laughing at us for 4 years. We will not allow our country to be taken advantage of any longer because the Biden administration has allowed our country to be taken advantage of. He will put America first because this last administration has repeatedly, over and over and over again, put Americans last, leaving Americans behind in Afghanistan while leaving our military base and our equipment in the hands of terrorists, opening our borders and ignoring the crime, the drugs, and the danger that millions of people have had to endure, while focusing their outrage on cat memes, sending billions to Ukraine while people in East Palestine, Lahaina, North Carolina, and Los Angeles have lost everything and have to jump through hoops to just get a few $100s from these relief programs that are meant for us, putting Americans back at the top of the priority list while reminding everyone that the people standing right behind him have consistently put us at the bottom. There were a lot of moments like that throughout this speech, which I absolutely loved. And then he goes on by pointing out that, yes, we have a lot of challenges and it's going to be difficult to address these things, but he is talking to the people who are standing behind them. He's letting everybody know that the reason he has to take such quick and drastic measures is because of how badly they have done their job.
We now have a government that cannot manage even a simple crisis at home, while at the same time stumbling into a continuing catalog of catastrophic events abroad. It fails to protect our magnificent, law-abiding American citizens, but provides sanctuary and protection for dangerous criminals, many from prisons and mental institutions that have illegally entered our country from all over the world. We have a government that has given unlimited funding to the defense of foreign borders, but refuses to defend American borders or, more importantly, its own people. Our country can no longer deliver basic services in times of emergency, as recently shown by the wonderful people of North Carolina, been treated so badly. And other states who are still suffering from a hurricane that took place many months ago. Or more recently, Los Angeles, where we're watching fires still tragically burn from weeks ago without even a token of defense. They're raging through the houses and communities, even affecting some of the wealthiest and most powerful individuals in our country, some of whom are sitting here right now. They don't have a home any longer. That's interesting.
I thought the phrase left without a token of defense was particularly hard hitting because it just shows how deeply and intentionally these people have left us behind. And I think what's happening in California is probably the perfect demonstration that represents what every aspect of American life has felt like since 2021. It shows how much power the people in charge have to actually keep our community safe and thriving, and how evil and corrupt and soulless they are as they make the choice to not even put the most basic safety measures in place. Gavin Newsom promised to fill water reservoirs back in like 2014, and there was no reason that they shouldn't have been filled prior to the fires that are happening now, because the state had record rainfall this year. In every aspect, these people keep taking and taking and taking from us and using what we give to benefit everybody but us. And they don't care one bit if they risk our homes or even our lives in the process. Now, I won't go through Trump's entire speech, but there is just one more clip that I want to touch on that again shows how far off the rails that we have been pushed by this administration and exactly why Democrats lost this election. He brought up the issues of race and gender, and seeing everybody cheer for this demonstrates the fact that the country is pretty unified, that we are tired of talking about race. We're tired of talking about sexuality. And we're tired of the intentional effort that we all can see by the woke left to divide us up by these things. We know that we are not an inherently racist, misogynistic, or sexist society, and we are tired of being told that we are.
This week, I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life. We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based. As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
The fact that this got a standing ovation should be embarrassing for the Democrats who have pushed this garbage into every aspect of society. The fact that our president even has to make the distinction between men and women for us is so far beyond anything I could have ever imagined. If someone had told me 10 years ago that this would be a message that needs to be sent from the White House, I would have laughed in their face, and I would have said that there's no way that that would ever need to be a speech coming from the top down. Yet, here we are. And I know that liberals are going to call us a bunch of names and that we're all some kind of phobic, but let's be clear again. This was never about being against anyone with a mental health struggle or psychological condition, because that's what gender dysphoria is. People who have a legitimate disconnect from their biological sex. It is a condition. The problem is when the extreme left decided that we needed to teach the idea that you can pick your gender as a fact to children and accept the idea of picking your gender as the new norm across every aspect of society. They created this problem, and now they have made common sense sound mean and discriminatory. If you want to believe that you are a man that can choose to be a woman or vice versa, and that anyone can make that choice, you are welcome to believe that for yourself, but you don't have the right to tell anyone else, especially when you're preying on vulnerable children or people who are already dealing with some kind of mental health crisis, that they can do the same and then pretend that there are no consequences for leading someone down this path, knowing that more than likely they would not have done so had they not been influenced. And that is what this disgusting push for gender ideology has done for so many people. Therapists have been forced to affirm with no question. Doctors have been forced to prescribe drugs or make recommendations for these irreversible surgeries with little evaluation, pretty much just going on the word of the patient who is likely struggling with something that has nothing to do with their gender. Because of this ideology, women lost the Title IX protections. Little girls have been forced to share locker rooms with mentally ill men. Hundreds of female athletes have lost athletic scholarships and opportunities to boys and men. Our children have been exposed to sexually graphic material in school, and naked adults parading in front of minors has become accepted. And if you think for one second that any of these ideologies have had anything to do with teaching acceptance, tolerance, inclusivity, or compassion, you are completely wrong. These things have been pushed into American society with the intention of destroying us from the bottom up and the inside out. If you don't believe me, let me put it this way. There is a scripture that says, "By their fruits ye shall know them." You can tell the true objective of something by what it produces. You can say that gender ideology and DEI are all about teaching love and tolerance, but after years of having this stuff shoehorned into every aspect of American life, have we gotten any more loving and tolerant? No. People are more divided and more angry and struggling more mentally than they ever have before. These things have destroyed everything from our bodies to our minds. It has destroyed homes and families. It has robbed children of an education and taken away opportunities. It has destroyed every industry in America, from medicine to our military, as the institutions meant to keep us safe and improve our quality of life are more focused on pronouns than protection. There's not one thing that has been positively impacted by this social engineering. And every single thing that has a seed of this particular tree planted in it produces fruit that is making people sick and unwell, then you know that it was meant for destruction. A good tree produces good fruit, a bad tree produces rotten fruit. People who have been pushing this stuff, they know it, and the fact that they have done it on purpose is unimaginably evil. And there was a long list of executive orders that Trump is already implementing to get us back to some semblance of normalcy, to have people stop taking advantage of us and our system. Just to name a few, it says Trump signed an executive order directing all federal employees to return to full-time in-person work. Trump signed an executive order to end the weaponization of government against political opponents. Signed an executive order pardoning nearly 1,500 J6 defendants. Trump signed an executive order designating cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. Signed an executive order restoring a merit-based hiring system. All of these things are just common sense. This is a return to normalcy. This is a return to things that all of us agreed on up until all of these ideologies started being pushed on us. If you want something, you have the equal opportunity to earn it. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter who you are attracted to. If you want to come to this country, you do so legally. If you want to wreak havoc on our country, you are a terrorist and you will feel the consequences. Ultimately, people just want common sense again. They want to live in a society that values truth and reality. They want a safe country with secure borders and a common understanding of morality and right and wrong. And they want a government that puts us first. They want honesty and transparency. And I love that despite how hard the media, the left, and the DOJ have all tried to brainwash Americans into accepting their nonsense and their lies, people have seen right through it. I think it's unfortunate that we've had to go through so much to get to where we are today, but sometimes we do have to go through struggles to appreciate what it is that we have. I hope that the last few years has been eye-opening to how amazing of a country America is, how free we truly are, and how important it is for the government that we have to function as it was intended. But I would love to hear all of your thoughts on this in the comments below. Let me know what your favorite parts of yesterday were and how relieved you currently feel that we are hopefully on an upward climb. Please be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Make sure that you are subscribed. Keep it real, guys, and I will see you in the next one.